Hello everyone and welcome back to NovaLogos Audio English. In the previous chapters we talked about the soil and the tiny size of the seed. Today, in Chapter 3, we explore the quiet time that happens between planting and harvesting. This is the parable of the seed growing secretly. Have you ever felt frustrated because you've been working hard but don't see immediate results? Maybe you've been studying English for weeks, but you feel like you aren't improving. This parable offers a deep sense of peace. It tells us that growth has its own secret rhythm that we cannot control or even fully understand. While we sleep and while we wake, the expedia patamana, earth yields fruit by itself. Let's explore the language of mystery, stages, and trust. Section 1. The narrative of the silent growth. Let's listen to the narrative from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verses 26 through 29. Pay attention to the farmer's role and the seed's independent progress. He said, "The kingdom of God is as if a man should cast seed on the earth, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring up and grow, though he doesn't know how. For the earth yields fruit by itself, first the blade, then the ear, then the full grain in the ear. But when the fruit is ripe, immediately he puts forth the sickle, because the harvest has come." Section 2. Vocabulary Deep Dive, Mystery and Maturity. This short story contains precise words about the stages of life and the limits of human control. Let's look at our key vocabulary. First, the phrase, spring up. When a seed springs up, it appears suddenly from the ground. In English, we use this for ideas or problems too. A new opportunity sprang up out of nowhere. It describes a moment where something hidden becomes visible. Second, the word, blade. In this agricultural context, a blade is the first green leaf of a cereal plant like wheat. When you start a new project, you look for the blade, that first small sign that your effort is alive. Third, consider the word ear. No, not the one on your head. In farming, an ear is the seed-bearing part of a cereal plant. The ear represents the middle stage of development where the structure is formed but not yet filled with fruit. Fourth, look at the word ripe. When fruit or grain is ripe, it is fully developed and ready to be eaten. We also use this for people and timing. The time is ripe for a career change. It means everything is perfectly ready for the next step. Finally, the word sickle. A sickle is a handheld agricultural tool with a curved blade used for harvesting. To put forth the sickle means to take action when the time of waiting is over. It is the language of finality and reward. Section 3. Symbolic Wisdom, the Grace of Waiting. The most striking part of this story is that the farmer doesn't know how the seed grows. The limits of effort. The farmer's job is to cast the seed. After that, he sleeps and rises. He doesn't dig up the seed every hour to check on it. This teaches us that once we have done our part, like studying or praying, we must trust the internal power of the seed. Growth is automatic, but gradual. The text says the earth yields fruit by itself. In Greek, the word is automatos, where we get the word automatic. Growth is a gift from God. However, it follows a strict order: blade, then ear, then full grain. You cannot skip the automatic blade stage to get to the pay harvest. The mystery of the night. Most growth happens while we are sleeping. In our personal lives, our subconscious minds process what we learn during the day. Rest is not a waste of time. It is part of the growing process. Section 4. Advanced language pattern. The, first, then, structure. The parable describes the process clearly. First the blade, then the ear, then the full grain. This is an excellent way to describe a sequence or a process in English. First you learn the alphabet. Then you learn words. Then you write sentences. First we analyze the problem. Then we brainstorm solutions. Then we take action. First comes the struggle. Then comes the learning. Then comes the mastery. Using this structure shows that you understand the logical progression of a task. It helps your listener follow your explanation without getting confused. Section 5. Practical application. Trusting your progress. How do we apply the seed growing secretly to our English studies? First, learn to sleep and rise. Consistency is more important than intensity. Don't try to force the harvest in one day. Do your daily practice, then go to sleep and trust that your brain is stone growing the language while you rest. Second, respect the vunfak, blade, stage. Don't be frustrated because you don't have the full grain of fluency yet. Celebrate the blade, the fact that you understood a single sentence or learned a new word today. It is a sign of life. Third, stop asking how. You don't need to be a linguist to speak English, just like the farmer doesn't need to be a biologist to grow wheat. Focus on your duty, sowing, and let the miracle of growth happen by itself. Consolidation and review. Deepening your understanding. Let's review the key lessons and phrases from this quiet but powerful parable. The seed should spring up and grow. Something beautiful is about to happen. Spring up reminds us that growth often becomes visible suddenly after a long time of being hidden. He doesn't know how. Accepting mystery is a form of wisdom. We don't have to control every detail of our progress to be successful. The earth yields fruit by itself. Growth is a natural and divine process. Your job is to provide the environment, but the life comes from a source greater than yourself. First the blade, then the ear, then the full grain. Success has an order. Be patient with the stage you are currently in. You cannot have the grain without first having the blade. When the fruit is ripe, he puts forth the sickle. Timing is everything. Harvesting too early or too late is a mistake. Trust that you will know when the time is ripe to use your skills. Sleep and rise night and day. This describes the rhythm of a faithful life. It is the steady, quiet work of living that allows the seed to reach its potential. The harvest has come. Every season of waiting has an end. If you have been faithful in the sowing and the waiting, the harvest is guaranteed. The mystery of growth. Remember that some things are happening secretly in your mind and heart. Just because you don't see it today doesn't mean it isn't happening. Thank you for joining us for Chapter 3 of NovaLogos Audio English. Be patient with yourself. Like the seed in the field, your efforts are growing in the silence of the night. If this lesson gave you peace, please like and subscribe. We are growing together, one blade at a time. We will see you in Chapter 4, where we will look at the challenge of the wheat and the weeds. Until then, rest well and trust the growth. Goodbye.